Perfect. Cool. How's your day been?
Actually good.
Good.
Relaxing.
So relaxing.
I took my time, yes.
Good.
The
Good.
other week was crazy, but this day today I said I will be connected to for myself.
Nice. That is very good. Well, this is also a gift to self. Our yin practices. It's special. I find yin so special because we're so not used to giving ourselves that space to just be, to just rest, to just. It's so foreign to us. It's actually quite foreign how foreign it is to us. Like it's quite strange that being it's in the Eastern philosophy, it's really normal for people to just be and to just rest and to counter the energy. So I think once you get you're more aware of your energies and your own energies, you start to understand that in order to compensate all the doing and the racing and what we also sometimes refer to as the yang and the masculine needs a little bit of a counter, like the warm and the cold and all of that. So we do use props. I see we're going to make it simple today and work with as little props as possible, because the props are also, the other props are still at the community center. If you want to sit on that, you can. If you want to sit on anything, fold it double. So we'll just start with a ritual of a short meditation. So you can either cross your legs, come into the kneeling, and just use this moment to sit still. Just gonna combining it all. So close your eyes, and it's almost like with the act of closing your eyes, you create a invisible kind of barrier around, maybe around your body, around your mat, around the space that you're in, like a cloak, like an invisible space. And you just kind of, it could be a sense of protection. It can be a sense of, okay, this is just going to be my space where I draw attention to myself, my safe, sacred healing space. And anything that's outside of that space, just let it be. And that might take a while. You know, just deciding with your intellect and your mind, let me be here, let me be in this moment. It doesn't really work like that. It just takes a little bit of time. So what you can do is focus on your breath. So take slow, deep breaths in and out of your nose, with a slight restriction in the back of the throat. And just sigh it out. And decide for yourself what it is, or what kind of energy, or what kind of intention you have tonight to be here. It can be physical. If you might have done some exercises this week and you're like, oh, I just want to stretch into my body. Maybe it's energetical and you want to slow down a bit, ground. Maybe it's emotional. Maybe there's things in your life that you're working through emotionally. And it's often in these moments of stillness that these emotions can come up, and that's okay, because it's good to be with them in your own safe and sacred space. A realigning of your body, your mind, your heart, and your spirit. Maybe it's a very spiritual practice this evening, and you want to listen to your inner voice, connect to your soul and what your soul's calling is, or what your soul is asking you to act on, which is sometimes things we want to hear, and sometimes it's like, no, I don't want to hear that. I know that it'd be beneficial for my health or for my own happiness and well-being to change, to let go of something, or to move towards something. Whatever it might be, it's your practice. Time to go inwards, time to be with you. Slow down the breath and deepen the breath. And let's take a deep breath in and a nice sigh out. Open the mouth. 3 more like that. Inhale. And exhale. Last 2. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And then maybe place your hands somewhere on your body for the last one, on your heart, on your belly, and feel how the air enters. Breathe in. And breathe out. Just these couple of breaths connect you here with your body, breath, mind, heart, spirit. You may place your hands together, a lovely moment to maybe dedicate your practice to someone that's sick or healing or needs some extra love and care. Or you can set an intention for this practice, an invitation, a letting go. And then you can bow your head towards your fingertips to just seal that in. And then we're going to start nice and comfortably on our tummy. With your right leg up. So it's a slight hip opener. You can move your body a little bit over towards the left. Your right knee slides up next to you. And your arms are cactus. And then you can choose to either turn your face to the bent knee, or you can turn it the other way. So that is up to you. Just make a mental note. So you can do the other side, the other leg, or the other turning on the face on the other side. Just trying to set my timer here. Now, the nice thing here is that you can decide how high you want to slide your knee up. So the first couple of moments, you settle in, you just feel into what works. If you want to move still, then move. Decide which side you want your head to be. And then just be still. If for some reason this is uncomfortable for your neck, you can place something under your side of your face. And we will also practice diaphragmatical breathing, belly breath. So slow breaths into the nose. And then slow breaths out of the mouth. Yeah, even on something under your tummy, nice. And with every exhale, it's like your body, pretend you're lying on a beach on sand, and your body just becomes heavier and it starts to sink into the floor. It starts to melt. Notice how your belly softly presses into the floor, your belly button softly presses into the floor. And because the right knee is up, there's a slight little bit of space between the mat and the front of the right hip. So notice that it's quite nice to breathe into that space. Soften your jaw. A soft stretch and a twist in your neck. And we'll stay in this shape. That's what our yin practices are all about. Stretching into the fascia, the deeper connective tissue. Slowing down. Grounding. Soften the skin on your face. And it might even help you to count your breath. Slow breaths in for around 4 to 6 counts. And then out 4 to 6 to maybe even 8 counts. Soften your fingers, your toes, your shoulders, the skin. Now for the last 2 minutes, you have an option. It's quite a strong release, but you can make a fist with the hand that is in front of your nose. And then with the knuckles, you place them close to your temple. So you might have to search a bit here on the side of you, not push into the temple, but there's like a bony part. There's like, I find it's a bit more behind the temple. And then I place my head onto the knuckles and tilt my head a little bit backwards. Can you feel that? Or it's super intense, or I find it super intense. It depends on how much you're squeezing your fist. So if you relax your fist, it's less intense. If you squeeze your fist into a ball and the knuckles stay more in position and you place that just behind your temple, it's funny, it even makes me a little nauseous. It's like, ooh, there's some tension there. We all hold tension in different parts of our body. You don't have to do this. But it's a nice release. Stay with the breath. Keep breathing towards your belly. It's very regulating, very calming. Slowly lift your head. And then come onto your elbows. Are you allergic to cats? Okay, good. I didn't even ask because I've got 2 of them. Some people are, and normally I warn them beforehand, you know. So this is a strange transition. You're going to be rolling all the way over. So your left hand, you can come onto your side. Your left hand is going to scoop over and you come into your spinal twist. Your left hand can find the knees already in position. Shimmy, shimmy the body. Good. Now you've got different options. You can stay here, or you can do, we spoke about cats. It's the cat that catches its own tail. So very, very, very welcome to stay here. Or you can bend your left leg and then your right hand finds the foot. That's not for everyone. Find a place where you can relax your shoulders back down towards the floor. And close your eyes and just breathe. At any stage you want to let go of your foot, of the left foot, please do so. She's really, really sweet, but she's curious. Yes,
Smell like a Ridgeback puppy.
Uh-oh, do you smell a dog? Oh yes, my Uniki. Of course you're gonna lie here, huh? That's fine. Yeah, twists are very, very, very good for the body. Space in the spine. A little bit of a stimulation of your diaphragm, your organs. So often when we approach yoga, when we get to know our bodies in the yoga practice, initially we understand the gross, the bigger parts of our body, our arms, our hands. We start to understand that we're not 100% symmetrical, but then you go deeper and deeper and deeper, and you start to feel maybe the energy behind poses, maybe certain parts of the body that are a little bit more tight than others. Now breathe towards the spaces where you feel resistance. A sigh is actually welcome anytime. It's also a release of energies. Maybe sometimes I feel I want to breathe slow and deep, And then it's not totally accessible for me. And then when I do a, it frees something up and the breath just becomes freer. So in the yin practices, we embrace an edge. If that edge can be physical, mental, emotionally, maybe even spiritually. So it's a moving towards the edge. There's a difference between sweet pain, as we have, if we have to call it anything, you know, sensations are difficult to describe with words, but let's put words to it. And it's sweet pain or bitter pain. So this is sweet pain. It's like, oh yeah, there's a sweet point, but it's challenging. It's not a bitter pain of like, oh, I'm clenching my teeth, I can't breathe anymore. Maybe the difference between a warm, inviting bath, which would be nice, but this is more like, oh, okay, a cold immersion. Like, okay, you know, I can feel there's something happening. We're not totally relaxing. We're trying to not engage our muscles and be still. But there is also sensation, intense sensation sometimes. We let time do its healing. And we try to just be still. Still with whatever this moment and this shape presents for us, gives us in this moment. Stay with your breath, count the breath, feel the breath move, feel the ribcage move. Sigh if you want to. When you soften your toes, melt and surrender. The deeper layers of your body, the deeper layers of your being. You might gently release your foot so your right hand becomes free. And then come and lie onto your back. I know your head is at the feet side of your mat, but that's okay. Just scoop your hips so you feel quite symmetrical and your knees can be bent. Place your right hand on your tummy and your left hand on your heart. And just take a moment here to feel your right buttock, your right hip, your left hip. Maybe some interesting, subtle, tingling sensations on the right leg. I'm just expressing what I feel, but you might feel something very, very different because energetically, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, we're all very different. Into a supported bridge pose. Let's keep it low so you can use your pillow or your block and just place it under your hips. Just a slight lift. Are you okay with your pillow? You can even fold it double if you want, Nicole. If you want more height. Yeah, that looks quite nice to me. How does it feel? Good, 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 good. How are you there, Jody? All good. Nice. And then bring your right knee in towards your chest. So you can bring your hands over your shin. Such a wind removal pose. You can stay here or you can extend your left leg along the floor and just let it rest onto the floor. Yeah, very nice. Take a deep breath in And a nice sigh out, soften the shoulders, maybe bring your chin a little in towards your chest, last little subtle adjustments, and then a closing of the eyes, a going inwards. So in the yang, in the doing, there's a lot of, how can you say, it's maybe ego, but it's also, you know, performing, and because of your performing you are someone or you mean something. While in the yin all of that disappears. It's a place where you can question who you are when all of that falls away. The roles that you have in people's lives, mother, partner, friend, daughter, the job that you have, let it fall of you. And then when you start to let go of all of that, when you go deeper to the source, to the soul, what remains? Who are you underneath all those layers? Stay with your breath. When you let go of all those layers and those roles and those expectations, there's a sense of freedom, a sense of acceptance, a sense of just being enough, being worthy, being loved. Maybe there are no words, and it's a feeling. We attach to our roles, we attach to our jobs, we attach to our friends. It's good. It's a part of your identity, but then letting go of all of that and just going to, hey, who am I without all of that? It's a good practice. Bring both feet back to the floor and just take a moment to rebound. Just a couple of breaths here. Feel the difference between right and left. Yeah. And then draw your left knee in towards your chest. Feel. So again, let yourself be rather than do the shapes. Let yourself be in the shape. So keep your right knee bent for now. And just feel if this feels good. Your right and your left are very different. Rather than doing exactly the same as you did on the other side, feel in this moment and go like, maybe I want to stay here and just be here and do it differently. But if you want, you can also explore with extending that right leg, drawing the left knee a little closer. And it takes a couple of moments to just find that sweet point. Maybe you could call it sweet pain, sweet stretch, sweet resistance. And that might also only come with a bit of time. That's why we stay in these shapes for longer. Whenever you come across an edge of whatever level or layer that might present itself, a little sigh of acceptance that there is an edge and that you can just use your breath to be with whatever is right here, right now. Opening up through the hip, and the hips work hard for us physically. It's also a place where we might store emotions. With an inhale, it's a wish for space. An exhale is a sense of letting go. And space is not just space in the body, it's space in the mind. It's space to live. It's the spaces in between point A and B. Space, the universe. Often moments of stillness create space for creativity, for new thoughts. First, we wash out whatever is lingering, whatever is maybe confusing us, distracting us, and then when we let that just go, boom, there's space. I don't know if it's happened to you before, but then suddenly it's like, oh, there's new insights, a new idea, a new feeling, a new solution. Slowly extend both legs, and you can start with your knees bent. I feel like I want to reshuffle my prop. Then you can stay, or you can extend both legs like a Shavasana, but you're on your block, and you can even extend your arms overhead. It's a nice, subtle opening of the front line of your fascia. Five to 10 breaths here. Two, three more rounds of breath here. Maybe even an extra deep inhale to fill up even more, and then melting on the exhale. Nice breathing. Gently bring your hands back. Place your feet onto the floor. And you notice how soft and gentle and relaxed everything is. A little engagement, you'll feel the difference. It's like, oh yeah, that's how I engage my muscles. To lift your hips and move your block to the side. And then the only thing you do is just roll onto your tummy, back onto your tummy. You can start on your elbows, maybe move your body a little over to the right side, and then it's your left knee that lifts up. If it's uncomfortable to have the knee straight on the floor, you can place something soft underneath it. Yeah, elbows go into cactus shape, and then just remember if you turned your nose towards the bent knee on the other side or not, and turn it to the other side. So let's stretch our neck in both directions. Take a moment to settle in, maybe shimmy your hips, move your shoulders, move your hands, move your head, and then go, okay, this is it. This is my sweet spot, my sweet point, a commitment to stillness, and then a paying of attention to your breath. Just let the breath be there for you. Feel the breath move through the nose, through the throat, or maybe even through the mouth. You can do that as well. All the way down to your pelvis, all the way down to your belly, all the way down. Feel yourself all the way up. And let it go. And you can invite an energetical sense of space on the inhale. The air takes space into the body. The body expands, takes space in, takes more space in here in this room. And then on the exhale, it's a melting and letting go, a softness. So as much as we have our meridians based on Chinese medicine in your body, you've got organs that have their own function, but lymph is very important. Your lymphs, your lymph nodes. So there's rivers. We can compare it as rivers, like your bloodstream is like little rivers, but you also have that for your lymph. And then there's certain parts in the body where it's like a dam. The river can get blocked. And we'll be a little bit later. This is just an introduction for you to get a bit of a deeper understanding of your body on the parts that we can't necessarily see, but that are very, very important for your well-being and health and your immune system. And you can stimulate those dams, those places where the rivers might be blocked a little bit by simple soft touch or a little deeper touch. So in a while, not yet, I would love to share some of it's a practice you can do at any time, and it stimulates those lymphatic rivers inside your body. You can do it every day. You'll probably notice changes when you do it every day. So you also don't want to overdo it and give your lymphatic system a shock by overstimulating it. But you'll feel it. For now, just stay with the breath. If you want to add that fist, you can. So it's the fist that is in front of your nose. Create a fist and then just feel that you can let the part there, the muscle just behind your temple. It's actually, for most of us, quite a sensitive place, a sore place. You can even first navigate or explore with your fingers and go like, oh yeah, I can feel that some stimulation might be needed there. And then depending on how tight you make your fist, there'll be more sensations. I feel that it's almost like I want to lift my nose a little bit up to the ceiling. So I'm shaking as if I, let's say, look over my left shoulder, but very, very subtly. So I'm tilting my head a little bit, and that just brings more weight into the knuckles and stimulates into that spot. There's no real wrong or right here, so just breathe. So some poses might feel more like a warm bath actually and go like, oh, there's an edge, it's challenging, but it's very, very manageable. And other ones are like, woof, there's some stuff coming up here. Don't have to explain it all, don't have to understand it all. You have your breath and make it a felt sense experience. Just feel. Three more rounds of breath. From here, you can come back up onto your elbows. And then we roll onto our back for our spinal twist. So your right hand is going to come under and across. Shimmy onto the side of that right hip. Right hand can come to the knee. And then decide if you're happy here, or if maybe you want to do the cat that catches his own tail. So I personally find it nicer when I hold onto the foot on the pinky side of the foot, because my shoulder can open, but just see what is accessible to you. Maybe you shimmy your shoulders, still kind of settling into the shape. And then, oh, it feels so different on this side. My left knee is definitely a lot higher up and away from the floor. That's okay. That's totally fine. It's this awareness, this noticing, getting to know yourself. You're beautiful and perfect and healthy and well, just the way you are. No need to change anything. It's a funny joke when you say we're human beings, we're not human doings. It's in the spot, in the name, human being. Just be sometimes. Allow yourself to be, to feel deeper, to explore deeper into the physical body. Let the emotions rise. No need to push them away. We're safe here on our mats. Just let it all wash over us. Not resisting. Just letting life be what it is. No need to change anything, even if it's difficult. That's also part of life. Life is not just pink roses. There wouldn't be growth. There wouldn't be deeper connections if sometimes, sometimes a courageous conversation is needed. To realign, we realign individually, we realign our relationships, we realign together, sometimes we realign alone. For more depth, more understanding, more acceptance, more love. Couple more rounds of breath here. Notice where you feel what. Breathe towards the spaces of resistance. And say something kind to yourself. Something nice you did today. Or just that you're beautiful, that you're unique, that you're enough, that you're kind, that you try. Slowly release and just draw the knees next to each other so the bottom knee comes under the top knee. You can just lie on your side. Use your right arm as a pillow for your head. And then you can sit up sideways. And we will do our lymph work. So just make sure that you're comfortable. Maybe you want to be kneeling. Maybe you want to be cross-legged. So it's a routine that was taught to me by Fluidas. And there's a very long version of it. It's 18 minutes. I actually have it on video. So if you wanted it, it also includes the face, which is quite nice. So it works both on lymphatic and on fascia. So fascia is the elasticity of your skin and of your body as well. We move and we stretch into fascia, and then the lymph is almost like the detoxification of your body. So one important river sits here right above your collarbone. So there's different places, obviously, where your lymph node sits, right? They are the armpits, the groins. So we're just going to run through it. It's also recorded. So you can also get the recording of this one in the morning. So you can spend as much time as you want. So the nice thing is you can even do this while you're having a conversation with someone, right? You can have a coffee with someone and just be touching. It doesn't even look weird. It's just like, or you're watching TV. It doesn't have to necessarily be in a state of meditation. But let's today practice it. So it can also be quite a nice way to just feel, like start with your fingertips really softly, just feather-like above your collarbone. And when you explore this space, it's a small space. Feel where you feel softer bits, harder bits, and just like really gently, softly touch there. Sometimes it helps to close the eyes, and can you slow it down? We have already done some yin, so we're probably already in a more parasympathetic part of our central nervous system. So rather go for slow than fast. And then you can make this a little more profound, more stronger, and just really rubbing into this place with your fingertips. So the rubbing can be 3 to 10 times, from soft to harder. And then the second phase for each dam or river that we pay attention to is taps or claps. So the taps is just tapping with your fingers or with a flat hand 10 times. 7, 8, 9, 10. Place your hands down. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. And then you bring your left hand to your right collarbone and start soft. Very soft. It might even give you goosebumps when you just stroke. Feel the skin on the skin. And a sense of curiosity of wanting to just be with your own body, but also knowing that you are stimulating the deeper layers of your being. Very nice. Good. 1 fingertip, 2 fingertips, and then start to, maybe it's not necessarily speeding it up. It's actually almost slowing it down, but just giving it a little bit more depth. And there are points like this in the body where you go, oh, I could actually go quite strong. And there are other points in the body where you go like, whoa, I can't go very deep here. Another 3 times. You'll discover them. And then 10 taps or claps. Take a deep breath in and a sigh out. Now this one I like. It's the right hand. Well, I like all of them, but behind your ear. Why I like it is because there's more to explore here. I feel that for my body, it's like, oh yeah, this is hard. This is a hard bony part. Here it feels like I'm like touching. There's a little dip somewhere. There's no wrong or right. So the vagus nerve also runs and runs past this point. And the neck here and behind the ear is energetically a very strong point. So start soft, maybe even a little bit down your neck, and then really find a point there behind your ear and start to find an interesting point, maybe a point where you feel resistance, maybe a point where you're like, hey, there's a little dip there. I want to spend some time there. Go a little stronger. Ten taps or slaps. We'll go to the other side, left hand behind the right ear. Maybe you tilt your chin a little, move slow, start slow. Feel how the skin and the skin just slides, like a little soft feather, just touching your skin there. And then you can deepen it at an interesting point. So we're working. Maybe it feels different, the right and the left side. Around 3, make it a little stronger, a little deeper. Your beautiful, super intelligent body. It's incredible how our bodies work if you start to think about it. 10 taps, 10 slaps. Take a deep breath in, bring your hands onto your chest. Breathe towards your hands. Let your heart rise, and then even put a little bit of pressure. 2 more times. Inhale. It's like you're pressing your chest down, but you're staying upright. 1 more time, a lifting, a freeing of that part of your chest. And then you can just work here around your sternum. So I've also worked with a lot of physiotherapists now actually work. This is lymph, but it's also fascia related. That we had an expert on one of the conferences last weekend, and he works 10 minutes on a spot. So if someone has a shoulder issue, there's like certain spots and they're connected. So for example, if you have a lot of neck issues and shoulder issues, often people work on the trapezius. It sits more here. It's more the freeing up from a fascia and energetical point. It's very, very, very interesting. I'm exploring it through the fluid as it can be with Carlos and Devon, who are coming in March. It's just a really, really nice way to approach your health and well-being. Okay, 10 taps or slaps. Now bring your hands somewhere here into the meaty part of it's not your armpit, it's between your shoulder and your chest. And just start to create circles with your fingertips. So, because this is a less sensitive point, probably, I don't know, but you can probably already start a little bit more profound. Up and down, right and left, circles. Yeah, very nice. 10 slaps or taps. And we change to the other side. So you can do this every day in the morning. So I find it interesting because meditation is beautiful. This is almost meditating on your own, touch on the deeper layers of your being, but you have something to do and you know that whatever you're doing here, but you're still, it's a still space. So I'm more than happy to send you the link, and you can just go to the last bit of class and you just listen to it. You don't even need to really watch it, right? You have your eyes closed. a little bit more profound. Maybe you find your rib cage, maybe you find interesting tissue, harder tissue, softer tissue, circles up and down. All right, 10 slaps, 10 taps. The next point for most of us is quite sensitive. So if you take your fingers and find your own rib cage, the ridge here. So your liver sits under here and your spleen sits under here. And you can walk up until you feel like, oh, I can't walk up a lot more now. Now there, you can push, but push gently. And you feel that it is a sensitive point. It almost makes you a bit nauseous or something. So go gentle, maybe a little on the right, maybe a little on the left. You won't be here too long because it's actually quite for most of us, quite an overwhelming point. Maybe a little bit more to the right, maybe a little bit more to the left. A little bit down, a little bit up. And then 10 taps, 10 slaps. Then just sit still, take a nice deep breath in. And a breath out. But the groin, the knees, and the ankles to go. So you can come and lie down onto your back. And just bring your hands to your hip creases here and just start to rub. Now, I'm not sure, it depends. Some of you can find your lymph nodes here. Sometimes I can, sometimes they're more swollen. And for me, that's also a nice way to check in. So if I'm like, I'm starting to have a sore throat, let me feel what my lymph nodes are saying. It's silly, but it's true. Or as women, when you are about to have your period, sometimes they also swell up. You don't really need to spend only time on the lymph node, but just feel they're equal sized if you can find them. For some, they're also more present than others. Fingers up and down, that crease of your hip. Flat hands, fingertips, 10 taps, 10 slaps. Lift your right leg. I like to just place my heel to rest on the left knee. It's behind your knee, but it's more towards the thigh bit. You might even feel those tendons there. And it's there's a bit of a dip there. It's like there's I don't know how you say that word in English. It's like, not the top of the mountain, but below, like it's just down. Sorry? So when you have the mountain and then you've got in Dutch you say dal.
The valley?
The valley, that's the word. It's just a metaphor for, you can feel that there's like a tendon and then there's a bit of a valley, a little bit of a valley going. Valley, tunnel. 10 slaps, 10 taps. So there's an order to this. Other sides. No, it's specifically in a specific order, from up to the neck and down, stimulating those rivers. So my friend said, oh, do I only do this when I'm sick? No, because doing this also when you're just feeling great actually stimulates the lymphatic system. We might finish class just a couple of minutes late, but that's okay. We started a couple of minutes late as well. 10 taps, 10 steps. These you can do together. So it's with, you've got your bone here. So it's on the side of the bone. You can do both sides or one side. Just let's do one side. It feels a little bit easier in the beginning. Depending on how much time you have around it. Feel free to close your eyes, rub down, rub a little bit stronger. I find this not a sensitive point for me. So I dare to go quite like almost a massage feel, deep massage tissue feel like. 10 taps, 10 slaps. like wake up lymph. We're here to stimulate you a little, to let the rivers flow. Other side. This is the last one, guys. So there were just a couple of minutes. You can obviously spend as much time per point as you want. 10 taps, 10 slaps. And then hug your knees into chest. Take a deep breath in. And then release to Shavasana. So bring your legs, so we call this pentacle. Hands can be somewhere on the body or next to your body. And just relax. Take a deep breath into your nose. Feel the rising of your chest and your tummy, and then just exhale. Keep your eyes closed, still just keeping your own energy, preserving and sustaining your energy with self, here with yourself. From this very passive, grounded, calm, powerful state of being, start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, bringing some movement back in, bringing yourself back into the space, and with the movement, moving towards more activity, more doing, and even starting to realize that there's something outside of our cocoon, outside of this space, outside of this house, a whole world that is waiting for us. And we are recharged, so we can share our energy with others from a grounded and calm place, so we can stay gracious and true to ourselves. Hug your knees in towards your chest. And it doesn't always work like that, but we can try to recharge. And then it is easier to speak and act kindly, truthfully. Roll onto your side. You can pick your own side. And then sideways, without too much effort, just come back up into a seated position. A moment of gratitude, and also an acknowledgement that whatever happens in life, whatever challenges or obstacles might come on our path, we have practices that can bring us back to source, to self, stillness, breath, touch, slowing down. Thank you for taking care of yourself. Namaste. Thank you, Joëlle. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
See you soon. See you next week. Huh? No class on Monday.
Yeah, I'll see you Thursday.
I'm going to be dancing in the desert.
Nice. Enjoy.
Bye, Paul. Have a nice weekend. Bye.